Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Spoiler Alert. Basically, this is where you can bring out spoilers to anything you want to talk about as long as it is out in the public. It's not a sneak preview or anything like that, that as long as it's been already released to the general public. So before I get started, let me take care of some business first and we'll get started. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can't hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you don't want to be notified by YouTube when I come on live, best thing to do is hit that bell down below, and YouTube won't notify you when I come on live. So what you should do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So, what are you guys watching out there? Everyone's seen Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Knows that Hulk is now the new Uncle Ben, right? Okay. All right. So, I've been watching, or I should say, I've been watching and catching up on. There's a Hulu series called The Great, which is based on Catherine the Great, and I've been watching that, and it's funny as hell. So it's written by the guy who wrote the movie The Favorite, and it's another period piece. Of course, it's about Catherine the Great and how she came into power and everything. And Elle Fanning plays Catherine the Great. Now I'm just blanking on his name. I could see his face. Holt, the guy who played Beast in the younger X-Men movies. He actually plays Peter, not Peter the Great, but Peter the Heir. And it's funny. It's Nick Holt. There we go. Nicholas Holt. Oh man, it's fucking funny too. It really is. And also horrifying at the same time. So um yeah. There's nudity, there's swearing, there's a gratuitous use of the word fuck. So uh is it true that she is it true that she had sex with horses? No. That was a made up so they actually do so it's not the chronological order of how things happened within this. It is more of they use a lot of the truths of Catherine the Great, but they embellish them, of course. And one of them was that the court, because they were so upset with her, they actually made up the whole lie about her having sex with horses. The women in the court actually just really hated her because she was German. Well, the whole thing is Peter is actually she's Austrian, and Peter himself was actually of Austrian descent. So it's kind of funny that they were rulers of Russia, but yeah. So yeah, and I guess in the original history, she got married to Peter at 16. Um, he didn't take the throne until she was 19, I believe is what it was. And then 6 months later, he abdicated the throne to her, and just because he was fucking stupid, honestly. He could not run things at all. That's what I mean by being fucking stupid. Not that he gave her the throne, but that he just could not run things well. And yeah, then she built Russia up to, you know, she actually put in a lot of work into it. So yeah, it was hated for a lot of things too. But it's actually it's pretty fucking funny. I would highly recommend it if you. It's something different if you want to watch it. Yes, Spider-Man No Way Home has made over $1 billion at this point. It is the highest grossing movie, fastest grossing movie too at this point. So yeah, there was a fascinating article that came out about Amy Pascal coming to Kevin Feige with one word, help. It was after Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Andrew Garfield one that just crashed and burned. And Yeah, and Kevin Feige basically told her, he's like, "I can't just impart stuff to you." He goes, "It's not like we have a formula for this." And he says, "I basically have to kind of show you how to do it." And she threw a sandwich at him. So, yeah. Hey, Stanley. Hey, Raymond. What's my favorite Spider-Man moment? Ooh, um, quite honestly, it's the Daredevil moment. Matt Murdock. It really is. Hey, Apple Crow. Yeah, so for me, it's the Matt Murdock. Uh, there's already a T-shirt out there that I fucking want that has Matt Murdock, and it has the radar rings around his head. It's basically the silhouette of Matt Murdock with the radar rings coming out, saying I'm a really good lawyer. So yeah, that one just makes me laugh. That whole scene just made me laugh. The whole thing with, no, no, you guys are fine. And then Happy, you need a really good lawyer. You should like spend a lot of money on a lawyer and, yeah. I haven't seen Don't Look Up, but honestly, I'm okay with that. So, and I have seen Matrix Resurrections. Yeah. Ugh. Resurrection. That's right, no S. And all I can say is that Jessica Chadwick made a huge mistake. Between choosing that or Shang-Chi, she should have chosen Shang-Chi. She really should have. Sorry, Stanley, but you know what it is. This is where we talk about spoilers. So, yeah. So, I don't know if Spidey spoilers are over. It depends on what people want to talk about, quite honestly. So, yeah, I'm actually going to go see it again Wednesday, I think is when I'm going to go and see it. Yeah, Matrix Resurrection, the grasp for more cash. I'll be talking about it on Is It Worth My Time on Tuesday in more detail. So, hey Stanley, did you hear? The Hulk is now Uncle Ben in this universe. So he's been retconned. He is now Uncle Ben. He is now this Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. That's the last Spidey spoiler for you. Applecrust, I don't know what it was, but I did not like Jessica and M4 at all, or she was my favorite part of Iron Fist. Yeah, I liked her in Iron Fist, and I hated her in Matrix Erection. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. It's just Matrix Erection because that's what it was. Um, Stanley says I saw Don't Look Up. It's quite heavy-handed, but I liked it anyway. Is that the one about the asteroid coming down or something like that, and everyone's going about their business as usual? I know it's out, but did anyone see Mother Android, the one that Chloe, what's her face, did for Hulu? I didn't even hear anything about that one. I mean, I know it came out. She's supposed to be pregnant during an AI war, I guess is what's going on, and she has to get across. She's on the wrong side of the line, I guess, and is trying to get onto the human side of the line. But it might all be for naught because humans might be getting wiped out and whatnot. And maybe if I'm really drunk one time, I might give it a shot. So, Apricot, yeah, Don't Look Up is worth a watch, but it's just too close to home. Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw that Derek Robertson, of The Boys fame, tweeted out that it's a horror movie. It's a comedy. He saw the comedy in it, but it's a horror movie, is what he said. Raymond, that's just a rumor. Yeah, it's nothing more than a rumor. Stanley says, "Don't look up about science denial, so very obvious parallels to reality." Okay. I see. I might give it a watch at some point, I don't know. What's it on again? Is that on Hulu as well? Don't Look Up, I think it's on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. Netflix. Oh, okay, there we go. Alright. Yeah, I haven't turned on Netflix in a while, so that could be the reason. Ever since The Witcher season 2, which left a really sour taste in my mouth. It was very Scooby-Doo-ish. I mean, just totally Scooby-Doo-ish. So, yeah. I'm kinda disappointed by that. I mean, The Witcher should have been better than it was. It just yeah. Stanley said I started watching The Silent Sea on Netflix. I think I saw that listing, but I never looked at it. You really liked, The Witcher better than season 1, really, Raymond? Okay. Alpacro says, "My favorite joke in the movie comes at the very end, so at least I did, end it laughing." Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of the season 2 of The Witcher. I am looking forward to, though, on Wednesday, the Book of Boba Fett. That's right. The Book of Boba Fett comes out on Wednesday. I'll be doing that one early because I'm going Wednesday evening-ish to go and see No Way Home again. I don't hate fantasy, Stanley. I hate bad fantasy is what I hate. Badly written fantasy, and that was badly written. Albuquerque is all I'll say about the Matrix 4 is that it should have been Animatrix 2 with a 30-minute bit about Neo and Trinity. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. It was all I can say is shame on Neil Patrick Harris. He's been taking roles, I think, just for the money. 8-Bit Christmas, for example. And I'm yeah, he used to actually put a little more thought into his things that he was doing, but not anymore, I don't think. You haven't watched The Witcher yet, Pen? Well, you've probably been busy, right? I mean, not like us layabouts. I've been off for the last week. I'm going to be off for the next week too. So, I it wasn't that so much, Raymond. It was more of a like I said. I'll get into it on Tuesday. I'll get into it on Tuesday. Abercross, I think the most real part of the Matrix 4 was them saying WP was going to make it with or without them. Yes. Yes. So, but again, I'll go into more detail on Wednesday or Tuesday, excuse me. I just want to say also, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to all you guys out there who celebrate it, or Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, whatever you want to do. It's the day after, so Baby Yoda has come out of his chrysalis here, and I think if he sees his shadow, we have 6 more weeks of winter. Is that what's going on? So I don't know what the verdict was on that. Mine was okay, Raymond. I mean, family, all that stuff. So, oh, that's right. It is Boxing Day in some parts of the world. That's where you take all your boxes and you return all this shit that you don't want back to the stores. Is that what it is? Or is that where you fight with family? Because now that the alcohol is worn off, you can all. I kid somewhat. We have the 26th as a holiday here too. Oh, good. What is it there in Germany, Stanley? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not reading that one, Apple Crow. You're on your own on that one. You need to workshop that one a bit more. I'm trying to think of what else out there that I've been watching. I've been watching Forged in Fire still as well. I'll put on that every now and then. It's on Netflix. They only do one season at a time, which is really fucking annoying. There's like 18 seasons of Forged in Fire. Just put them all on. I mean, they're all the same shit anyway. I mean, you always get these rednecks who always think that I can do that. They usually do it when they're drunk. They're watching in front of the TV. I can do that, and they come on Forge and Fire and almost have a heart attack in the middle of the 3 hour first round competition. Get thrown out, and then I'm waiting for one of them at one point to just get totally upset at the judges that they've gotten thrown out, and then rush the stage with the knife that they've made. Of course, they're going to edit that out, but still. Second Christmas Day. Okay, Stanley. It's kind of funny. There's a Teen Titans. So Teen Titans Go, the animated Teen Titans Go. Um, they have a second Christmas, is what they call it, and because Starfire doesn't know anything about Christmas, so her first Christmas, she goes through it. She really loves it. She's disappointed that there's nothing the second day, and so Beast Boy and Cyborg come up with Second Christmas and causing her to miss her other holiday on Tamarack. It's really funny. It's on HBO Max. So it just kind of thought I thought of that when you told me Second Christmas Day. Yeah, I've been watching also Young Justice, which is good. Um Genlock, which has been exceptional as well. So I mean, Genlock's got some good stuff going on. I mean, I can't believe what they're doing. I mean, Genlock, they're essentially saying that human beings are pretty much dead because of what they've done to the environment, and their only solution to save themselves is to go digital. And so everyone has to be basically going through this whole Genlock program and become digital entities. It's the next evolution of human beings. Stanley says, and that's how it was introduced in Germany. Okay, I got it. That makes it. That's pretty funny. Applecrow says, I had one Christmas in Germany, and our host family took us out for Glühwein. They were wise enough to make us wait 5 more minutes when we wanted to go back for more. Okay. I don't know what Glühwein is, but it sounds like wine, but highly fortified. And usually German stuff is highly fortified. And so, yeah, we have German restaurants, here in the United States. I'm not talking about like the yes, we used to have the really stupid German restaurants, the shitty ones, but now they have more like authentic ones, that kind of stuff. And way back when I lived in San Francisco, I used to live within walking distance of one that was really close by. Communal tables. They used to have the half liter up to the 5 liter steins and stuff like that of German beer. They used to import the beer over. And oh, good God, that used to get us fucking knocked in our ass. I used to drink the children's one, the one that was half the Radlers with the half beer, half sparkling lemon uh, juice drink. My friends used to laugh at me. I'm like, that's fucking, you know, I used to drink a liter of those, and that was a lot. Jaeger Schnitzel. Yes. Mulled wine. Yeah. Oh, mulled wine will just, yeah, that will knock you on your ass. They stopped the gold wine sale in the streets because of COVID this year. I'm glad they did. Albatross says, "Oh yeah, in the first beer we went in, we had two sizes, liter and half liter. Yeah, Yeah, there's beer for children, Raymond. So it's called the Rattler. That it is seriously a child's drink. And correct me if I'm wrong, Stanley, but they do allow children to drink this kind of watered down beer, if you will. Is that Bavaria? It might be Bavaria. I don't know, but all I know is fucking tasty, and it went well with my meal. So yeah, we used to try and go in there all the time for brunch because their brunches were fucking banging. I mean, they would. Ah, man. I mean, Spatzel, Wiener Schnitzel, all that stuff. I mean, it was just there. Schnitzel, I should say, not Wiener Schnitzel. Schnitzel and yeah, all kinds of stuff. My favorite was they did the skirt steak with eggs and Spatzel. Fuck, that was a good, especially if you had been drinking the night before. No beer is only allowed from 16 on. Oh, okay. So maybe it is Bavaria. So yeah, I know from where I live now, supposedly within walking distance of me is another German place that I guess the front of it is a grocery store. Then you go into the back, and the back's a restaurant, which I need to go and find that place now. Stanley said, "I've never seen kids drink Radler. Maybe it's at 14 and if the parents are around." Okay. And Bavaria beer is considered food, as well it should be. Anyway, we digressed. We went completely off track into beer and German cuisine at that point. Um, shit, what else have we been watching? Um, and of course, it's been the normal Christmas movie stuff too. I made an attempt to watch Die Hard last night after I got home, and they had it on Roku TV. And then, of course, I realized it was actually edited, so it was going to have commercials in it, and I was just too lazy to get up and find the DVD. I really was. So I was like, ah, fuck it. Has anyone seen No Time to Die? I'm debating on whether or not to rent it. I didn't like it, Raymond. I did not like it. I thought it was actually the worst out of the entire Bond series. There you go. Yeah. Of course, I finished Hawkeye. As with all of these Marvel shows, I love most of it and don't like the end, and then don't like the ending. Okay. Stanley says, "Not me. I'm over Bond at this point." Well, it's Daniel Craig's last Bond anyway. So if it's $5 to rent, Raymond, then go for it. If it's anything more than that, don't bother. Yeah. So Stanley says the Hawkeye ending was very silly, but still okay. You mean the stinger at the end with the Rogers, the musical? I love that actually, that last little bit that they did, the stinger. You think it's going to be something big, something that's going to be connected to everything else, but it's just nothing whatsoever. It's just the musical, one song, which just made me laugh. It really did. And the lyrics were hilarious. I mean, you need to put on the closed captioning for the lyrics. The lyrics are fucking hilarious. Apple says I hated that, but I'm not really a musical fan. Okay. You were disappointed in Kingpin because he was cheaply dressed. So that was his Kevlar attire. And he was trying to keep, a low profile, if you will. Plus, this is not the Netflix version of Kingpin. So, yeah. The Netflix version is a different universe, and does not exist. It is not MCU canon. There you go. Anything that has been done by, what's his face? Jeff Loeb and Ike Perlmutter is, not canon because Kevin Feige will not allow it. He does not like Ike Perlmutter or Jeff Loeb for that matter. Applecrow says Kingpin felt tacked on. If that's all that he's not dying off screen. I'm just gonna say that right now. He's not dead. You don't see a body. You hear a thud. You hear a shot and a thud. That's all you hear, but you don't see him die. Raymond says they really messed up Kazi. He's much better in the comics. Okay. Exactly, Stanley. If you don't see it, he's not dead. But I actually said in the review of episode 6 that he is, of course, in the comics. Yes, this is what happens. Echo shoots him in the head. He survives. He gets surgery, which reconstructive surgery, which actually makes him blind at one point, and then he gets his sight back. Then he becomes mayor of New York and takes over the Thunderbolts, and yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah. What else I was going to say? Oh yeah, and there's a contest going on over on that final episode that I did of Hawkeye, which ends on Wednesday. Hint, hint. And I think only one person's actually put in a comment so far. So, those of you who are in the continental United States, put in your comments. There are 3 prizes. Hey, word 789. And those prizes, again, just so that those of you who are clear, there is an ugly sweater, Kate and Hawkeye pin. These are all pins, by the way, as you can see. There is a Hawkeye pin. There you go, Hawkeye. If I can get that to focus, probably not. And then there is a Kate Bishop pin. So there you go. What is the spoilers for? What do you got? Word 789. As long as it's out in the general public and not a not a sneak preview or anything like that, then sure. You know what, Philip? Actually, I completely dropped that ball completely. Agent 19 is Mockingbird, and yeah, that whole thing with her being Agent 19 and supposedly being Mockingbird, you know, I don't think she's Mockingbird, really. Oh, you mean what's being discussed? Pretty much everything. We're talking about Hawkeye right now. So, I mean, we were talking about German cuisine earlier and German beer. Excuse me. You want to talk about Spider-Man plot holes? Stanley, someone wants to talk about Spider-Man. So, you know, I love Linda Cardellini as well. So what plot holes do you have, word 789, that you think are plot holes? Have you seen Grandma's Boy? Yeah, Grandma's Boy is awesome. I actually own that as a digital copy. So what do you got there, word 789? What fire off a couple of plot holes at me. So yeah, Linda Cardellini is in Grandma's Boy. She actually does a good job in that one too. That's a fun movie. That's just a fun stoner movie. The title might be different in German. It's one of those, Adam Sandler produced movies, but Adam Sandler is not in it, thankfully. So, Word 789 says, "First of all the villains came back who knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker. So why is Electro there?" Um, I think it was all just the villains who died while fighting Spider-Man is why they came back. Yeah. So also, yeah, that's all I think it was just all the villains who died fighting Spider-Man in other universes came back. And it was just basically, like they said, to right the wrongs of what had happened there. So he's typing furiously. That's fine, Pen. I mean, honestly, we'll see what happens with that contest. Where did Doctor Strange send the villains? Back to where they died or present day? Basically where they came. So they came out just before they died, I believe, because he said they were fighting Spider-Man, and that's all they remembered was that they were fighting him. So they don't remember dying, of course. So he sent them back to just when they were fighting Spider-Man. So now they have been reformed, and they are probably going to stop at that point. Stop fighting. Word 79 says, "How come everyone forgot that Tom Holland, Peter Parker was ever Spider-Man in the end?" Because there was a big spell that Doctor Strange did at the Statue of Liberty, because he had to make everyone forget so that if no one knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, they would close the rift that was happening above New York. Because that's where they were all coming through. Is there anybody who knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man was going to come through the rift? So, um, Stanley says I'll have to check that out. Word 79 says when Tom Holland, Peter Parker can never be forgotten, mainly because he live streamed himself as Peter Parker, Spider-Man to the Daily Bugle. We don't know what the aspects of the spell were. So, I mean, you also have Ned. I mean, Ned was with Peter in his room dressed as Spider-Man. So, I mean, what about all of that? So, this has elements of Brand New Day in it. So, if you go and take a look at Brand New Day, which is arguably one of the most hated Spider-Man runs of the comic world, which is when this is what J. Michael Straczynski had written when he was doing Spider-Man, where Peter Parker makes a deal with Mephisto that everyone forgets that Peter Parker is Spider-Man uh, because Aunt May got shot and she was going to die. And the deal was that that'll happen as long as he and MJ can never get together again. So, yeah, you can have video vanish too. It's magical, man. It's magically delicious, is what it is. So I think you're just thinking too much into it. It's magic and it never happened. There you go. See you, Stanley. You know what you're getting into. It's spoiler alert. I mean, yeah. And the movie has been out for over a week now. Word 789 says, and why is Sandman helping all the other villains when they are literally curing him so he can go back to his daughter alive? He was freaked out. He didn't think that he could do it. He didn't think that any of the Spider-Men were going to be able to do it and that he was just going to end up dying anyway. That's all it was. That's the reason why he was helping the other villains. He still wanted to get back and see his daughter. Raymond says, I don't think it's more hated than Rain, where MJ dies because of Peter's. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rain is actually pretty bad. Well, there is the Clone Saga as well, but still. Applecrow says, "Time for puppy walk, and we have a new 5-month-old German Shepherd." He's oh my god. Good luck with that one, Applecrow. What about Henry Abrams Spider-Man? I don't know what that one is. You have to give me a storyline. And why do they have to bring all of them to the apartment? Why risk all of that and have Lizard tag along too in the van? Because that is where the equipment was, and that was where Peter knew that the fabricator was at, so he could actually bring those. He didn't have a laboratory, he didn't have access to a laboratory, he didn't have access to Avengers Tower, any of that. All he had was the last bit of Stark tech, which was in the apartment. That was where he brought them all. Yeah, they could have left Lizard in the cell, but they didn't want to. They were bringing them all along. And yes, they could have probably brought the tech back over to the Sanctum Sanctorum, but that wasn't what the writers had in mind. So there you go. This is what Marvel used to call the Marvel No Prize. It's whenever someone found, a plot hole or something like that, or something that was omitted, they would explain it away fairly offhandedly and go, "Yeah, and you win a no prize," is what they would say, which was no prize. I hate to say it, but uh yeah, Marvel actually had the best, responses to all of those way back in the day, Marvel Comics. Yes, like I said, he could have stayed in the cell, but then they would have to go across town, pick up the damn thing, bring it back over, and yeah. So these are all things that could have been, waved away with a hand waving there. Word 79 says, yeah, like Toby getting stabbed in the spine and he walks it out. Well, he didn't get stabbed in the spine, he got stabbed in the side. I'm okay without the Stan Lee cameos. I mean, I miss Stan Lee, yes, definitely, but I'm okay without his cameos. Yes, I know, blasphemy. Oh my god. Yeah, I thought he got stabbed in the back as well, but no, he got stabbed in the lower left-hand side in the back. That's where he got stabbed at. He didn't get stabbed in the spine itself. Which he's right-handed. Was he right-handed or left-handed? I can't remember. I'll see it on Wednesday. And I'll let you know. So any other plot holes? Because I'm not seeing anything glaring, really. I mean, these are all things that can be, waved away, if you will, with a hand waving. And also, how does Andrew Garfield know who MJ is? He says Gwen was his MJ. Um, that's what he was meaning, was that MJ is, because she even said we're looking for our Peter. And so obviously he knew that they were together, kind of thing, and he said Gwen was my MJ. So, well, it's also, how did he know that there was another Peter Parker? Yeah. Yeah, Philip. I mean, getting stabbed in the kidney is not not a pleasant experience, or even getting punched in the kidneys or anything like that. But still, yeah. Yeah, nothing, like I said, nothing that can't be waved away with a hand wave. um And also, what does happy mean by he knew Spider-Man through Aunt May? Um, that Aunt May's dead, so obviously she knew Peter was, Spider-Man before she died, so the spell did not work on her. So his memories might have been altered you know, that every time he met Spider-Man, it was through Aunt May. So there you go. I mean, all the Avengers stuff still happened. But there's probably excuse me, there's probably gonna be more trickle down to all of this with, Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, because as you see in the very beginning of that trailer, he says, Wong is telling him, "There are consequences to your actions. There are consequences to the spell that you did." And you see there's things that are happening. So obviously, the spell that he did to the big spell in order to make everyone forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man had some ramifications to it, which will probably bring up some of your points there, true, as well. Raymond says, "Yeah, but wouldn't he know who Peter Parker is since he dated his aunt for a whole summer? We don't know how the spell works." And again, like I said, it could just be one of the things that's dealt with in Doctor Strange too. And he says things have gotten out of hand. Yes, exactly. So, like I said, it's going to be there's a sequel to this, of course, that continues on in Doctor Strange too, which I'm definitely looking forward to because it's Sam Raimi. One, he's doing horror really, and we've got Shumagorath as the bad guy in this, which I called. I'm going to say way back when in WandaVision. Yes, I'm going to break my arm, pat myself on the back on that one. So I'm just happy to see that in live action. I mean, that just looked fucking awesome. It's a blink and you miss it thing in the trailer, but Shumagorath is the big eye thing that has some tendrils, if you will, coming off of it. And yeah, so that's going to be some badass stuff right there. And with Sam Raimi, I'm sure it's going to push the limits of horror right there in a PG-13 setting. Raymond says it's actually Gargantos, a Namor villain. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Shumagorath. Who were the people shoveling shit? Shoveling. I know it's hard to type fast. Well, but yeah, I am looking forward to Doctor Strange 2 as well. And by the way, if you go over to suspendedfanimation.com while we're waiting for words to finish his sentence there, you will see the list of future stuff coming up. There's actually stuff at the very bottom of my schedule. You'll see future stuff that's coming up. Yeah, who are the people shoveling snow in Doctor Strange's house? Those were probably trainees. They were probably Wong's trainees, since Wong is the new, you know, master of mysticism, the head sorcerer. So he was probably bringing them from, the training quarters to shovel snow. Uh, what do you mean? How does Wong have a job if he keeps leaving? So we don't know what Wong was doing. So we don't know what Wong was up to. But he is now, after Strange was gone during the snap. He actually went to dust, so it fell to Wong. So Wong is now the Sorcerer Supreme. You're serious? It's Garganto. It's not Gargantos. Trust me. That's trust me on this. That's Shumagorath. It looks like Shumagorath. It's going to be Shumagorath. So, also considering that it has multiverse in it, and they've already other people have already commented on this as well in the news before the trailer even came out. Stanley, it's spoiler alert. We get to talk about anything spoilers on this thing. So, okay, one last spider question. All right, hit me with it. And Stanley, you can ask your own spoiler questions about other stuff too. So, I mean, that's what we're here to talk about is spoilers, obviously. And not just Spider-Man. We could talk about. I do kind of want to leave the Matrix Resurrection off the table for right now, just because I am going to be talking about it on Tuesday. So, Word 79 says, "How does Doctor Strange go to the toilet when he was hanging above the Grand Canyon for over like 12 hours?" Very carefully. It was very, very carefully. Ah, there you go. That's kind of funny. I'm getting a little buzzing in my headphones, but I'm sure it's just my headphones is what's going on. Okay, I'm done. Number 2. There you go, Stanley. He's done. Oh, you're done now. Okay. I was gonna say, are you doing this while you're on the toilet, or stranger things have happened on this podcast? Um, I'm trying to think of anything else out there. Raymond says, "Remember when movies were 3D? Will that ever come back? Hopefully not. And actually, some of these movies are 3D. The place that I'm going to go and see rewatch No Way Home again on Wednesday actually has 3 screens on the wall, and so some of the shots that were done, I believe, in IMAX, utilize all 3 screens. So that's going to be kind of a fun thing. I haven't tried that experience as of yet. I call for a 4-week grace period on spoilers in general. Where have you been on this podcast, Stanley? You know that doesn't happen. Yeah, and Spidey is in 3D as well. This has been they what they do is they still do 3D, and I remember that the theater near me here, because they were showing it on 10 screens, literally 10 screens. They had it on 3D. I know they had it in IMAX, and then they also have it in I think that's it. Then well, the extreme whatever thing I'm seeing it in. Yeah, they do post processing 3D now. Stanley, no one shoots. Uh, so I think the last person who really shot for 3D was Sam Raimi when he did that Wizard of Oz movie, because he actually went back to school. There's a whole article on him. He said he went back to film school, learned the 3D process like from front to back on this, and actually designed all the sets and the digital imagery as well to have a foreground, middle ground, background, so you actually got the separation of the actual 3D, and that's why it looks so phenomenal. Just too bad the story wasn't better on that. Yeah. Have I seen all the trailers? You mean for Doctor Strange 2? Yeah. I actually posted the latest one on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Was Wizard of Oz later than The Hobbit? I think it was. I can't remember offhand. Maybe it was before The Hobbit. Okay, no spoilers, but I just want to say one thing I didn't like about the Book of Boba Fett trailer. Those trailers I haven't watched. I haven't watched the Book of Boba Fett trailers just because there's just too many damn trailers that were coming out, and I figured the show's coming out on Wednesday. Why am I going to watch a trailer that's just going to give me 2 minutes more of extra footage for a show that is roughly 30 to 40 minutes in length, which I didn't want to do. So, but what's the one thing you didn't like? No, go ahead. You can say what you didn't like. I don't mind. Because you haven't seen it yet either. All you've seen is the trailers. And I mean, you're just basing off the trailers. In that case, Stanley, if you have any problem with the trailer spoilers, in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, I'm kidding. There's a quote that Boba says in the trailer. Was it something that was when he was in the Sarlacc pit and there's no way he could have possibly heard it or something like that? Maybe, he was using the Force. That's what happened. Could be. You never know. So, I'm not a bounty hunter. Well, yeah, and it's basically it's not business, it's personal is really what he's saying at that point. Yeah. It's probably, everything he's going through right now, and it's probably the whole like I just said, it's not business this time, it's personal. So that's why he's not a bounty hunter while he's doing this. You don't have to they're not going to retcon it. This is Dave Filoni that we're talking about and John Favreau. There's no way in hell. I know it's Favreau actually. And Favreau, there's no way in hell that he's going to retcon Boba Fett being a bounty hunter. That's like one of his favorite characters. So, yeah. I think you'll be okay. I'm fairly sure it's a new way of saying it's not business, it's personal. Yeah. Because of all the shit that's happened to him. Yeah. Stanley says was Boba's Sarlacc the one which the Kryat dragon used, so the Sarlacc was killed? No. That was a different because the one that Boba Fett was in was out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, no one likes a Star Wars hotel. I mean, one, it's in Florida. I mean, who the fuck wants to go to Florida? I don't. And two, it's really fucking expensive. $6,000 for 2 nights. And, sure you get into Disneyland, but Disney World, excuse me. But no. Raymond says, "Do you think the Expanse will fuck up the ending?" I don't know. Does the Pope shit in the woods? I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some level of discontent on the Expanse's ending. So, Robot Chicken is the canon version of how he escaped, possibly. Yeah, I watched the hotel video. It just was very bland. It was very, very bland. But honestly, I have no desire to go to Disney World at all. I mean, at all. And I'm fairly sure what's gonna happen now when they decide to redo this for Disneyland, because it's kind of funny, Galaxy's Edge was first done at Disneyland and then replicated in Disney World. So the Star Wars hotel, it was done in Disney World first, and then they're going to replicate it in Disneyland, um, which they're already building and stuff like that. So I'm sure what they've learned now is what not to do, and that they're probably going to revamp some stuff, including the price point. Because I'm sorry, that price point is ridiculous. I mean, that, what kind of family can actually, afford that to go and do that? I mean, yes, they were sold out for the 1 month, but that was it. So, yeah, I mean, well, they're still sticking, so the whole sticking point with this is they're still sticking with the trilogy after the original trilogy. So 7, 8, 9, and, no, excuse me, is that right? Yeah, 7, 8, 9, and no one likes that. No one fucking likes that. Oh, there are, I take that back. There are a few people that actually do like it. But being stuck in that one little section of time in the Star Wars universe when you have so much to choose from, why? Especially if you wanna make money. Well, yeah, with $6,000, you can buy many lightsabers. Yes, I know. So that was my big thing with Disneyland was, last time I went, which was back in March or May? May. May is when I went of this year. I was actually looking for stuff for, The Bad Batch, right? Could be found nowhere in Galaxy's Edge. And when I asked crew, any cast members, that's what they're called, cast members, they all looked at me kind of nervously and they're like, "Oh, we don't have anything like that here. I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "Really? Okay." Went over to Tomorrowland, which also has Star Tours over there, and it's the original Star Wars, ride. And they do have a Star Wars shop that's there. That's where the Bad Batch items were, I guess you could say. There was just a table of them. And that's because it didn't fit within the narrative of the Batu or whatever the fuck it was, the Black Spire shit that was going on in Galaxy's Edge. It wasn't in the same timeline. That's why they had it out in the annex of Tomorrowland, which I thought was stupid. Star Wars is Star Wars. Your general fan is not going to care that they are mixing timelines or anything like that. You can have Luke Skywalker walking around with Ray and all that kind of stuff. You do not need to have, you can have a Han Solo lookalike walking around with, Kylo Ren, that kind of stuff. No one cares, quite honestly, when you're at Disneyland. You're there to have a good time. You're spending enough fucking money. Stop, dealing with, the minutia of keeping it in a certain little time frame and trying to make it a story which doesn't work. 789 made the prequels better. That's an achievement. No, it didn't. 789 just showed you that. Well, yeah, it did make the prequel. Excuse me. Yes, it did make the prequels better because you're like, holy fuck, there's something actually worse than the prequels. So, yes, I agree with you, Stanley, on that. Word 789 says, I think one person was spot on when they said it looks to clean, looks too clean and Star Trek like. Yeah, it does. But I mean, when people are staying in a hotel, do they really want to stay in some place that looks really scummy and stuff like that? Like there's used sheets and whatnot, depending on who you are. In Florida, maybe. I don't know. There's so forget 6,000. I want a refund for The Last Jedi. Don't we all? I just want to go be able to go back in time and erase that from my memory completely, if I could. But I don't think it's going to be possible for at least another couple of years. Uh, so yeah, the hotel, it's a bad idea. So there have been rumors. It's so funny. There's a couple different websites that are dedicated to Disney and whatnot, and they come through my phone stream every now and then, and they have the most horrible rumor mill mongers that I could ever imagine. And of course, they're saying that Bob Iger is coming back to run Disney again because this guy Chapawek or whatever his name is uh, has screwed up so badly, which is the same thing that everyone said about Bob Iger when he first started, was that Bob Iger screwed up so bad they're bringing back whoever his predecessor was. And it's like, no, it's just, you know, just growing pains. Word 79 says also the sequel trilogy is symbolized by Rey's lightsaber in the end. Yeah, that's why I don't. As far as I'm concerned, the Star Wars trilogy, 7, 8, 9 does not exist in my canon. You know, it just never happened. And I have a feeling that's what's kind of getting rewritten right now with Favreau and Filoni. I think they might be rewriting that with the Mandalorian. Yeah. Stanley says I have a bad feeling about the High Republic. Yeah, the High Republic is Kathleen Kennedy's. Yeah, crap. Philip Ademic says the Northman trailer original Hamlet looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, there's no Sunday version of Saturday Morning Blast Off this week. Yeah, I probably should have led with that about an hour ago. Because there really isn't any news. There's just like zero fucking news. And most likely there's not going to be any news next week either. So don't look forward to next week as well. Considering that New Year's Day does fall on on a Saturday. And you guys are probably gonna be hungover anyway and don't want to listen to me prattle on and on and on. Because that's what happens. So anyway, I'm probably gonna go because I don't know what we got here. Word 79 says, I'm not sure how you feel about video games, but have you seen Star Wars Eclipse? Yes, I have. And I'll give it a shot. I'll give Star Wars Eclipse a shot. Oh, you get your booster next week. Good for you, Stanley. Yeah, I've got mine back in October. It's kind of funny here. There's a few restaurants in San Francisco now that have opted to not let people in unless they show their proof of booster on their vaccination. We already have to, when you go into restaurants in San Francisco, you need to show your proof of vaccination before you go in. But now there are a few restaurants here and there, and I think it's growing that you need to show your proof of booster as well. All right, Pen. Cool. Before I leave, yes. Uh, oh, God, you had shingles in the face. Wow. I got my shingle shot. So I noticed a lot of information here, but I got 4 shots in one day. And I got 2 in one arm and 2 in the other arm, and so I got my shingle shot, and I can't remember what the other one was, in the right arm because they said the shingle shot hurts like a motherfucker, which they're right. I So my right arm is not my dominant arm, but, I could not move my arm for, like, 2 days because it hurts like a motherfucker. Yeah, it really does. But, yeah. Raymond says Eclipse is made by Quantic Dream, so I don't know. I don't know. Word 79 says, "Watch, don't look up." Hated it. Just wanted to let you know before. Yeah, we were talking about that way early on. Word 789. So, yeah, it was. The consensus is mixed on it right now. I'm probably watch it at some point in time in the future, just not right now. Yeah, Pen. It was pretty brutal. Um, yeah. Did I get the flu shot the same time? I might have gotten the flu shot at the same time. So Penn says I had a mild case of shingles. It kicked my butt. I need to get the vaccine. Yeah. Since I was getting a whole bunch of shots anyway, I was like, sure, pile it on. And my doctor looked at me and says, are you sure? And I'm like, why not? I go, the worst thing that happens is I end up in bed and I have to take some sick days. Oh me, oh my, I miss work. Yeah. Just remember to do it when you don't have vacation days, when you know, when you don't have holidays, I guess, off and all that kind of stuff. Do it on work time. That's when you should be doing it. Um, Stanley said I had 6 vaccinations last year, and I think that triggered the shingles. Ooh, wow. But you didn't get the shingles vaccination and all those. So you should have had 7 vaccinations at that point. Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten all those things now. At this point, I'm all vaccinated up. Although, no, I take that back. So since I have worked in the pharmaceutical world as well as, in safety and stuff like that, we do Hep B vaccines. Um, and the last one I got was, I want to say about 20 years ago, somewhere around there. And so they checked my titer on it and my titer was gone. So basically, I didn't have the vaccine in my system anymore. I didn't have the antibodies in my system. So I'm going through that whole round again. So you do, it's one shot, then you wait 3 months, you do a second shot, then you wait 6 months, I think is what it is. And then you come back in and you do your third and final shot for the Hep B vaccine. So I do all these different rounds of vaccinations. 6 is unlucky, 7 is lucky. That's the science. Exactly. That's what it is. It's a scientifically proven fact that 7 is a lucky number. Uh, Sorry, that's actually funny, but also not at the same time. Anyway, on that note, I am going to let you guys go because it is already an hour into it, and I need to move on with the rest of the day here, as the little dog is saying to me. So thank you to everybody who joined me tonight or today in the chat, I should say, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can't, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you don't want to be notified by YouTube when I come on live again next, you hit that bell down below. Otherwise, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there. I change it every week. Also have the links to my social media and all my social media and all my pages as well. What does the titer test? Antibodies or T cells? I think it's the antibodies, Stanley. Basically, they just tell me whether or not if I still have the Hep B in my system or not. That's what they tell me. So, and yes, Raymond, exactly. Make sure to comment on that Hawkeye final episode video that I have. There are prizes available for those of you who are in the continental United States. So, other than that, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the day. I will see you again. Oh, what do I have coming up? Well, I'm going to do the whole let's see. Tuesday is going to be Resurrection. Wednesday is going to be the Book of Boba Fett and also the contest results. Thursday is going to be Station 11. That is going to be episodes 6 and 7. Friday is going to be the Expanse. Saturday we're off because it's New Year's Day, and of course we come back around to Sunday with Spoiler Alert, another episode of Spoiler Alert. So there you go. It's going to be a fairly light week, hopefully. So thank you, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, I don't know. You may end up watching something you just don't like and It doesn't agree with you. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get those booster shots as well, and get the vaccine as well. I mean, you might as well get everything at this point. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you then. Bye.